asked, is there a need for black colleges in this country? And I said, I don't know where this country would be today had there not been black colleges educating young African Americans. And it hurts when you read about the question of black colleges. What people don't understand, we have never discriminated. We've taken everybody who could come and wanted to be there, and we have some of the most diverse colleges and universities in the United States. And if I take a plug for us, the NSF has just listed the top undergraduate colleges that are, quote, graduating African Americans with PhDs in the life sciences, in the STEM fields. 12 of the 20 are HBCUs. Out of 50, there are 5 at the top, 3 of the 5 are HBCUs. I'm proud to say Xavier's the third. As a beneficiary of Catherine Drexel, and I'm not going to tell the whole story, it's just a Pat could do it much better than I. But Catherine Drexel was a saint long before the church named her a saint. She was a saint for all of us. Even in that little town that I talked about, she gave monies to missionaries if they needed it. Loaned them money, said, you don't have to pay me back, but if you can, I'll be happy to do so. Catherine Drexel never asked anyone for money during the time that she was working for the Native Americans and African Americans, and Xavier in particular. And I tell this story because it's another miracle of the mystique we call of Xavier and Catherine Drexel. Had any of us decided as an actuary, because there were 3 sisters, and she was the last one to die, and she got all of the monies that were interest-bearing for her work. Well, I think we'd have said, 72 years. If she had died at 72 years, Xavier wouldn't be around. We would not have been around long enough to make what we have become. She lived to be 97 years of age. Now that's 25 years more than we would have given her. And God gave her those years so Xavier could stand up like a baby or full-fledged. Now, unfortunately, her father wrote his will before he died, and he named all his beneficiaries. And of course, the 2 sisters that helped this one sister helped this institution, and Catherine Drexel were not listed in that will. He didn't know that his daughter, Catherine, was going to go out and give up all of this money, become a nun, and work for poor people. Another miracle. Now I have to tell you the story. 1955, all the money was cut off. And Xavier was sitting on this island by itself because with the sisters' help, yes, but without their help, which they could not afford to do, we are not supported by the institutional church. We have to make it by our merit and by those who are able to give, and alumni doing that. But the families that we serve cannot afford what tuition we charge. And I'll tell you, it's $19,000 a year. A lot of money. But we're losing them every day. And I say this to you because somebody estimated the length of time I've been a president and how many degrees I may have given. They say it's like 20,000. But I tell you, it should have been 40,000. Because 50% of those who should have been were not there. And why? Wasn't because they couldn't do the work. It was because their families couldn't afford it, or they had to leave to go and earn their own money. And I used to tell this, and somebody challenged me and showed me the report. I used to say, like I'm telling you, there's no connection between being smart and being poor. Principle being that you can be anything you want to be. But if you're poor, you live in a poor neighborhood, you go to a poor school, you get poor teachers, and you wind up being left behind. And that's the story that I worry about. We have to recommit ourselves to those who don't have a voice to speak as I'm speaking to you today. I haven't passed the collection at all. I'm asking you as faculty and others, in your own areas, wherever you are, help schools, help these young people, because we are at risk. If you want to read something, the ETS, whose world I served on, has written a research piece called The Perfect Storm. And what it says is that if we don't educate minorities who are now minorities, but in a few years will become the majority, and they now, when they become the majority, will find out that they can't get the jobs that they are quote governors or mayors and the like, what's going to happen? You're looking at the next civil rights movement, and it's on education. So as I say to you in these sobering moments, don't let time pass us. Let's do something about it. And if I have a regret, my regret was that I lived and we didn't do enough. And I'm reminded that history is not kind to idleness. History is not kind to idleness. And that's not how we want to be considered. And so I say to you this afternoon, almost evening now, I'm going to shut up. Didn't tell you one story. I said to you, my father was a hard-working man, raised 5 children, and he did every kind of job that he could, hard labor, and he decided to be an entrepreneur. He became a barber. And how he raised 5 children on a barber's salary, and I can tell you what it cost to cut hair in those times, but no way would it cost to cut the little hair I've got left. But he never forgave me for not coming back to that little small town and practicing law. Now you got to remember this. This is, the late 40s, middle 40s. Whenever he wanted something done, he had to go to a lawyer, a white lawyer. So he had a great affection for lawyers. And he figured, well, my son is going to be a lawyer. He's going to come back home and he's going to be a millionaire lawyer. Only one in town, and all his classmates will be judges as they are, and they won't be able to say, you don't know what you're talking about. He's going to say, but I got it from the same place you got it. My point to you is, he didn't go to his death with a lawyer. He went to his death with my brother, a bishop. Now, what a choice. What a choice. I think he may have forgiven me by now. I pray he has. But I want to end this in saying to all of you, yes, I have enjoyed the privilege of being a part of a miracle. Every time we open our doors, it's a miracle. And a miracle will continue because we are in a situation where the need is so great. God